And then the second quarter started.
Yeah.
But we had one quarter. And for that, I'm grateful. This is episode 189 of the Belligerent Beavs podcast.
One quarter.
Reacting to and expounding upon the 129th Civil War. Which could be the last of these games for a while.
No,
And
they've
I
announced they're partnered up again.
They did?
Yeah.
I've been out of touch.
Supposedly it's partnered up.
I know both sides really don't want this to be the end, and I'm having a hard time accepting anything as sincere.
How broad is both sides in this conversation?
It at least won't be next year.
It won't be next year.
It won't be next year, and I am okay with that for now.
I am okay with this, but I hate the fact that I believe that
I hate that we're here. Like, I fucking hate all of this.
We lose the alternating home year according to the potential agreements of the continuation of the Civil War. And that pisses me off.
Yeah, that's bullshit too.
Yeah. But as Duck fans will let you know that we need them in order to bring in the money.
I think I'm good.
Yeah. I'll pass. Hard pass.
So we can be what? The same that we are right now? I can live without this. Final score of the game, of course, the Oregon Ducks 41. Your Oregon State Beavers 7. A game that I think we all were expecting and bracing for. It was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
And
the Beavs, for early bettors, covered.
Yeah, that's true. The Beavs did cover. I think it got down to, it was 35.5 when it opened. Maybe 36.
It was 33
down to
and a half.
33.5. But yeah, if you bet, props to you if you bet on that line.
Yeah.
When it came
early,
out,
that's why I moved.
We just held them. I thought, for the most part, not for the most part, I don't know. This season sucks, and I'm sick right now, so I'm having a hard time. But I thought,
come on, sack up.
The defense will sack up in general. We actually got a fucking sack in this game, which was like, whoa, we do this? It took 15.
I think it was Dante Moore's first sack of the season. First time he was sacked.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
this season. Yeah. So
good.
Pat
good
myself on the back. I worked hard.
Good for us. Yes, like Tony Reale, stat boy over there, just deep into the numbers.
Yeah.
The defense played with a pulse, and I was happy to see that. It was similar shit to like that, the opening series against Cal when we forced a 3-and-out and we're about to receive a punt and put the offense back on the field, and we had that procedural penalty. We had this in, I think it was it the second quarter, the third quarter? I don't know. And I did not rewatch the film, you guys. This is not that podcast, and I am not that big of a masochist. But Oregon converted on what goes down in the stat sheet as a fake punt, but it wasn't a fake punt. Their punter caught the ball, took a couple steps forward to boot it, and was just like, well, no one's here, so I'm going to run 20 yards, which is not the way punts are supposed to be covered. And there's a handful of plays like that.
No, that was the turning point. That was the breaking point. Let's be real. Like that was the moment where I go, if we're not stopping them now, like that's just the most deflating moment you can have.
Yeah. And we were outmatched for sure. I heard this on the Split Zone podcast that if you take your pick of any 3 starting position players at Oregon and you're already beating the salary of Oregon State's entire team, this is just what this has become. Why I'm not heartbroken to see. I am heartbroken about a lot of things, but for those reasons alone and the reality of the hand we've been dealt, if we don't play these assholes next year, I understand why. But there is at least, you go into halftime with like something to hold on to. And I blame myself a little bit for this. I was feeling good in the first quarter. I was watching the game in the garage bar. And I texted my next door neighbor, Marty, great guy. Shout out Marty. And I just said, "Hey, are you home? Need your help with something?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll be right over." I was like, "Cool, I'll be in the garage in 5." He comes over, and I just hand him a beer, and I say, "I need your help cheering for Oregon State against Oregon." And he ended up watching the rest of the game with me, and it was 14-7 when he arrived and 41-7 when he left. Not blaming this one on Marty, but maybe I should have.
What was his name? I already forgot.
Yeah. He was cheering hard though, and he, it was really nice. He's from Texas originally, so he's a Cowboys fan, but not really a college football fan. So he had no real knowledge of conference realignment, other than that, like, oh yeah, that's happened, right? It's weird. What? Tell me more about it. And so now he hates it. So I've radicalized Marty. So we have another soldier for our cause, whatever our cause is anymore.
Good. Whatever effort's being put up by the athletic department anymore. Yeah.
Agreed. We'll see. He'll
agreed.
Whatever that fundraiser was the donate the cost of a cost of a case of beer. I think we can count on that from Marty. So me out here doing the Lord's work. Offense, not a lot.
Well, hey, hold on. Before you move on, I guess I got to say too, like, you were a good neighbor. Always a positive thing that brings good juju in your life when you're a good neighbor.
Of course.
Not like State Farm, because they want to be a good neighbor, but we're not sponsored by State Farm. But really, they're an insurance company, and no insurance company is good. Inherently good. No offense to any insurance people listening. But I thought I have to put this on the air because I thought my dadding skills over the last 8.5, almost 9 years are so on point. And I again, pat myself on the back. I had to do it because while watching the game, the mini bebe, who's really not so mini anymore, but we can still refer to him as such.
No, he's tall as shit. It's scary.
Well, tall as shit for how tall he's going to be, I guess.
Right.
But not so much
for what I'm being.
Yeah. But as we're watching the game, I mean, this kid goes to school in Portland. He's got friends who have parents that are Oregon fans. He's got, obviously, us as parents that are Oregon State graduates and fans. And my favorite quote from him during the game, unsolicited, just as things were unfolding, really as the second half started. And I think they started, maybe it was the first half, whenever they were showing Phil Knight on the screen, and he did not look good, by the way. He looked like his age. But he goes, and I was trying to explain to him why the uniforms were not their school colors, which feels like an every week occurrence for Oregon. And eventually they showed him, I go, that's what I'm talking about. And he goes, that guy's try to get the Ducks to win a national championship before he dies. But I'm going to try everything I can to make sure they don't win until I die. And I was like, you're 8 years old, and I love you so much for dedicating your life already to that cause. And thank you. And then he also followed up with, imagine someday that we both make it to the college football playoff, and then we go to the national championship and we beat them, and the next day that old dude dies. And I was like, you wow, you are my son. He definitely is your son.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So it was a good moment for father and son, regardless of the score, where I got to see the fruits of my labor of the last 8 3/4 years. And I feel like I'm
that's
done.
Not even
I'm
morbid.
Just hanging my hat up.
That's wishing even further long life to one Phil Knight, because Everett's a realist. We're not going to the national championship this year. That's at least that's another few years.
He meant it in a way of, if there's going to be the best way for that guy to go out, it'll be the day down the road.
Yeah.
When they face Oregon State in the national championship and we beat them.
Right.
Yeah.
I would take that.
And Phil will probably live till he's 120. I'm sure he's getting
if that's
little
on the
boy
menu.
Blood transfusions.
Yeah, he's getting the bamboo stuff in Germany or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah. Bamboo.
Yeah.
They do blood transfusions with bamboo.
Well, isn't that something like Kobe was doing?
Didn't help him.
I didn't help him, but I don't think it contributed to the helicopter accident, tragically.
Karma, man.
There's I like Google bamboo German doctor. And if it gets you somewhere not safe for work, I apologize.
Then just tell your significant other you're looking up bamboo sushi and you just typed the wrong word.
Right.
Bamboo sushi is good. Shout out bamboo sushi.
Germany's got great sushi. So there's probably a bamboo sushi somewhere.
That would be
planning a trip to Berlin. Yeah.
That would be smart.
Offense. The $1.5 million quarterback, aka Maalik Murphy. His worst game of the season, probably the worst game of his college career. The $500,000 in tight end transfers, didn't have a catch in Jackson Bowers and Riley Williams. Offense can't really get much of anything going. What else is new?
Well, I mean, the biggest what else is new? Look, quarterbacks have bad games all the time. Like, that's just every position player, a skill position especially, just tends to have a bad game or a no-show all the time. That's not, to me, it sucks it was on this stage. And it sucks when it felt like a loss could still be a turning point for the season, because if everyone else shows out and gives their all and gets up for a big game, rivalry game, then maybe there's something to build on. But I did not expect our captain and QB1 to be really the most individual on the field who didn't show up. And I said a couple weeks ago, and I reiterated last week, there's only one chance that Oregon State wins that game, and that is if Maalik Murphy has the game of his life. And I think that wasn't like a stretch.
Right.
Or, some like
in general,
crazy
to win big games, to say the quarterback has to have a great game.
Yeah. And it more so meant like he had to pick up for everything else.
Artist.
Yeah. And it was the only way that we were going to win that game. And I think him not having the game of his life, and maybe the complete opposite, wasn't the reason we lost.
No.
In total.
There's a lot of reasons.
But it deflated the team after halftime. I mean, I think it was very clear everyone was going through the motions in a way on offense.
Like, let's get out of here without getting hurt or giving up 1 million points.
Yeah. And, I mean, like some of his.
Yeah, it was.
Look, there's trends. There's trends. We had mobile-ish quarterbacks last season under Gunderson that refused to run beyond like the line of scrimmage on green grass in front of them. This isn't like a knock on Murphy, because this is common. And part of me wonders how much it's instilled in them of, no, make the play, not on your feet with your arm. Do not run for a first down. Do not get hurt. Maybe it's a scarcity thing at the position. Maybe it's just an opinion that Gundy has because he wasn't very swift on his feet as a quarterback. I don't know exactly what it is, but that is a trend where our semi-mobile quarterbacks have open field ahead of them, need a first down, and at the last second, at the last scrimmage, they chuck it somewhere. And on a run, not accurate.
Into the ground, into the third row.
And I don't knock Maalik or Jabari or really anyone's accuracy in that kind of moment. But it feels like there's like something in their head at the last second. They go, no, I need to make this throw. And that needs to, like, even if it's not instilled that way from an offensive coordinator or offensive staff, like frame point, like it needs to be instilled the opposite way then. Like it needs to be hammered into them. We need the first down.
Yeah, we need positive plays.
I don't care how you do it. Get the first down. I just don't know if they're getting that kind of motivation or coaching, or they're getting the opposite. But it's definitely not the former of do it any way possible. It's clearly not. Also, the tight ends.
Absent. Well, Caulfield was involved a lot, it felt like. But
he's like a check down, like last second.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything was check down Charlie. Some nice plays to Taz, who I'd say if you have to pick a positive from this month of hell, it would be, we're not 0-4 because of Taz Reddix. So
agreed,
getting him the ball more. But yeah, and it's,
or today I thought, or this week I thought Hank ran well. I thought
Hank's runs his ass off.
Yeah. I thought they ran stronger. They ran looking like they wanted yards, not to execute the play call.
And they're getting at least a little bit more space to do so.
Yeah,
the offensive line is like the 2000 Ravens or anything like that, but
no, but it looks much improved,
better, and they're playing a much better defensive line against Oregon than they were in any of the 3 previous games.
And also, we weren't sacked.
Huge.
That's pretty damn good.
Right.
That's big improvement. But now it's like, how much have we adjusted to thinking, oh shit, get rid of the ball quick. Oh shit, this hole won't be here. Like that's the part where you have to like revert your brain and trust that your guys around you are improving and executing to give you the best possible opportunity to succeed.
Penalties weren't awful in this one. They cleaned that up a bit.
No, yeah, it was a clean game. Even the special teams looked fairly normal. I know there was a little bit of adjustments, but snapping wise, fine. Most other than the not fake but fake punt.
And I thought Windsor had some nice boots too.
Yeah.
He had one. He was pissing himself for one. He had a bomb that went 60 plus yards and then bounced into the end zone that you could the camera caught him fucking pissed at himself because I think he missed something, but it was still, that's fine when you're punting from your own territory. That's
the 30.
You'll take that every time. But what you mentioned, like on that, like the first down, like 3rd and 4, when there's 9 yards to be gained that like Maalik could just go get. It seems to have an aversion to. That's an issue. Also, the lack of ability to connect on a screen pass is just baffling me right now. Gundy called back-to-back screen passes at one point in the second half.
Yeah.
The first one was like pretty well executed and was there, and Hank would have gotten probably like 5 or 6 if he caught it. If it was a decent
he had blockers, but he hit him in the end. They were closing too.
But the second one, they executed perfectly. And there was like one guy in 10 yards of space, and the throw was nowhere close. And I didn't go back and I didn't watch the all 22 of Murphy's Duke tape or the Texas tape. Maybe I should have. But the fact that like you have a runner like Hank, and I know there was a screen pass earlier in the year where Hank tried running before he caught it and it went right through his hands. It was a perfectly thrown ball. But since that one, they've been like a yard and a half short. And it's like, it's not even that Maalik was about to get rocked. It's like screen pass. We have a lot of free rushers. They're hard plays. I get that. But it's like, we can't do one. And if that's just not something that you can execute, like you're not a serious collegiate football team. If that's just something you can't do over the course of 16 quarters.
But then we abandoned them too. We abandoned those screen passes, and
I was probably after the back-to-back ones into the turf.
It was. Yeah. But like, then what? Then we just go back to vanilla? Like, I'd rather have a small wrinkle that we keep trying that looks promising, but does it like we blow it up ourselves versus running something safe. And then every time it gets blown up by the defense.
Well, yeah, the quick throw misdirection stuff has worked well, particularly with Taz in a number of stretches this year. And I just think, I don't know, maybe defenses are onto it. Oregon's got some first-round draft picks on that defense, so you're not going to fool them with stuff as simple as that. But yeah, I don't know. Looking ahead, any chance we beat Houston at home on Friday? We're like 13.5-point dogs.
If we run the fucking ball, honestly, run the ball. This isn't correlation. This is like, it just feels like fundamental football where if you get 2 yards on first down running the ball, it's not execution. It's not ability. If it happens over and over again, it's play calling. And just because your play doesn't work doesn't mean you should go away from running the ball. All of our 3 and outs, Andre posted this on our social media. We had 6 3 and outs, which had to be amended because we had a 3 and out as Andre was typing it, and he's sitting next to me. He's typing this out. We rushed on first down on 3 of those 6, 3 and outs.
Yeah.
After that first rush of less than 2 yards, Murphy went 1 of 11 for 5 yards. Jabari went 2 of 4 for 12. He looked good in his very limited number of snaps in very tough situations that he would come in on. The running backs carry the ball again for 3 carries. Oh, no, so those are the 3 rushes, the 3 carries for 4 yards. But on other drives where it either did or didn't open with a rush, but we leaned still on the running game, 21 carries for 59 yards, 2.8 a carry. And then Johnson didn't have any chances under center to at least throw the ball in these other situations that weren't 3 and outs. But Murphy went 4 of 6 for 63 yards, 10.5 yards per attempt. It was like, I mean, that was like X what he was getting when we would run on those 3 or run or throw on those 3 and outs, and he had to throw the rest of the time.
Yeah. He makes second down easier. Like, that's a pretty big step forward.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Try and make that happen. Make second down easier.
3rd and 4, you still have a chance to like be creative and run the ball. And you still have the defense thinking, shit, they may run for a first here.
Yeah.
Let's prepare for the rush. And then you get so much more opportunity to throw the ball. Like, this is like simple game plan scheming.
Right.
And I don't understand.
There is some momentum in that offensive line room too, because like they should feel good about themselves with the effort that they put forth.
Dude, our
in that
touchdown drive, we ran the ball 10 of 13 plays.
Right. And
Murphy went 2 of 3
guys
for
out
34 yards.
There are guys out there winning individual battles. I didn't think that it was the offensive line that was getting, completely out schemed. We mentioned, the penalties were kept to a minimum in this one. I'm not saying that it was amazing. We're 0-4. It's a bad football team right now. But I think you come out, you need to have a bounce back game of some kind. And if you just go up to the big uglies up front, we're like, hey, we're going to ride you guys this Friday. And you're going to be the reason we win this football game. And that's the approach all week. I don't know. Like, I'd buy that lottery ticket for getting our first win of the season. And
yeah,
be like, we're going to heavy dose of Hank and Salah. And
yeah. And
I'd like to see some
confidence on the offensive line, who feels probably so deflated. Like, if you get those guys involved and feeling cocky out there,
right?
Like,
and I'd like to see
inflate
some
the ego a little bit.
Designed runs for Maalik. I know it's not Michael Vick out there, and like for sure within his comfort zone and what he's willing to do, but he's not slow. He's not clumsy. Like, the times where he has taken off to run, he does it well. And don't try to run over any linebackers. I know you're big enough to do that, Maalik, but just eat up some yards at a time. Like, I think the whole thing this week just needs to be creating as many total positives plays as possible and just putting good football on tape, like more so than the score even. And I think,
I'd rather lose and we rush for 180 than any other way to lose, because I want the line to feel like they've got it back. And I want the running backs to feel like if we need to be leaned on, I mean, there's so many dominoes. If the running backs, if Hank and Salah are like, go ahead, put it on our shoulders, and the line's like, yo, we can open up these holes for you, then what do you think's going to happen to Murphy? He's going to sit there and go, damn, this is so much easier now that teams aren't just anticipating a throw after a 2-yard gain on first down.
Right. And then you can go out there and play target practice in the second half when, like, shit, Anthony Hankerson has 87 yards in the first half. Like, let's load this box. And I think there's a chance that happens. I don't want to be too optimistic here, but it's certainly not going to, like, opening up the playbook and going crazy like it's NFL Blitz that's not going to be the formula for this team.
No, but it's adjusting, and it's like trying to get, you've got your personnel. So, like, what they're doing, what they're capable of, like, tailor the game plan to what you've got. It
for sure.
It's not rocket science.
Right.
It's driving me nuts. It's driving me absolutely fucking nuts, because Yeah, dude. I mean, I've seen the Mini Mabe call a better game on Madden when he was 4 years old. Like, I'm just, to be honest, like, he knows how to like keep a defense on his heels. And we don't seem to have a way or thought process of doing that. And then everyone, it's just deflating because everybody feels like it's on them. And then it's hard to execute when we're at where we're at and everything's put on you. But I agree, put it on the line. The line looked improved.
Yeah. If I had to pick a position,
even Murphy called it out.
Yeah.
What he called out, the holes are huge for the running backs. I mean, he's right there, front row seat. He's not up in the box or in a booth watching on binoculars, dude. He's right there. Like, listen to your captain. If the holes are there, feed the backs.
Do you read anything else into any of his other post-game comments?
I think
I don't totally. For me, it kind of felt like a lot of what a player says after a loss kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I know everyone's reading between the lines.
I think he was very good at absorbing blame, but essentially replacing his name or myself or I with what should really be, and probably is in his head, others. A lot of the comments and a lot of the quotes read as if he wanted to say somebody else, somebody else's name in that
he made
moment
it
where
like
he instead said I.
He put the onus on himself a little bit, and I honestly don't have a problem, even though he did have a bad game. But it's like, like the plan, whatever plan
should wear it.
Yeah, whatever plan was put in place for him has not been good. This was the first game where I really thought, like, all right, Maalik's playing like shit, which is unfortunate because the line's finally giving him some space to breathe a little bit. But we didn't lose the previous 3 games because of Maalik Murphy, and I wouldn't put this whole loss entirely on him. You know, the defense, for the positives I shared, got drug up and down a little bit, which, you know, the fact that they delayed the inevitable for, I don't know, probably like 19, 20 minutes of game time, which I think is honestly admirable at this point. I hate that I'm saying positive things indirectly about Oregon this way, but like, let's face it, this is where we are. So yeah, I don't know if, and I've been tuned out like on purpose just because, man, I don't want to engage with the dark side of what's happening here. And I've barely read other people's thoughts on these games, whatever. It's, you know, talk with you guys, talk with, you know, a few other fans, and, you know, watch the game, rewatch some highlights. So I don't know if people are freaking out about him saying like he's not using his skill set properly or to the best of his abilities, and what any kind of potential side eye that could mean. But I also think he's right, and also he worded it fairly.
Oh yeah, he is, and he worded it like a professional. I mean, honestly, that was how it came off. Was this is a guy who clearly knows perception matters beyond play on the field. It's what you say, is how you act. But the one that I think it was less cloaked, but still cloaked, was, at least this is on Beaver's Edge on 3.com. They had the interviews all transcribed, and the one that was, how would you diagnose the run game issues right now? And he said, quote, and this was after we posted about the don't or stop abandoning the run. He said, I think we just got to play each play as it is. Whether that's like we don't get any yards on a run and it's a misassignment or a miscommunication, I think it really just comes down to everyone playing together in each play and not getting ahead of ourselves. You know, interesting, he points out whether it's like we don't get any yards on a run. I think that you can easily construe that to say, oh, people get frustrated on the offense. Players get frustrated on the offense when there's a play call for a run and we don't get any yards, and then they kind of lose focus. I think there's more to it than that. I don't think that that's what he's insinuating. I also think the last sentence was not directed at I don't know about play together in each play and not get ahead of ourselves. I don't think that was truly directed at the team.
You think that's directed at the coaches?
I think it's veiled for the coaches.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's generally speak that's like applied towards a running back who's trying to turn every play into a home run. Where it's like if you have 3 or 4, take it. You know, the big ones will come. But I don't think I would have to go back and watch, but most of the negative running plays for Hank or Saleh haven't been like them just being like, oh, fuck that read, I'm going to go do this. It's been they've gotten blasted the second they got the ball, or
and then what happens next?
A scheme was totally, but I think
we abandoned the run.
And then we abandoned the run. But I think, you know, he's the type where it's like, oh, this is a halfback dive and there isn't shit in there, but like I'm gonna, you know, straight line hypotenuse into this and get what I can. Like he is that kind of runner, and he's gonna endure like he did on the touchdown drive when, you know, Oregon stopped him a time or two before he punched it in. So yeah, I think that is interesting. I think that probably you're right. That is the most interesting thing that he said, and
at least most revealing, or potentially revealing. I'm not gonna throw the full, you know, conspiracy
when you're a quarterback, you have everything dissected like that. But like I said at the beginning, I think you're required for your position to speak publicly after the game. You just lost your team's own 4.
Captain.
Yeah. And you're the captain. And so I'm neither like moved nor enraged by it. I think like, oh, and then like, the things you pointed out, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have any ill will. I don't think like, I'm not mad about Murphy having a bad game. That's what I was trying to like tee up earlier was, dude, players have bad games all the time. It sucks that it happened when it did. Not just because of it being a rivalry game, but again, because this team started to look like all the other facets were finally showing up.
It would have been fun if they could have just like kept that a little bit longer. Like if there's one more drive on offense that nets points, then you can actually talk about upsets going into halftime. Like you're down, you know, either 14-10 or 21-10, not with a ton of momentum, but you know, crazier things have happened. We've been down more against Oregon in Civil Wars before and won. And that just would have, I think, given fans more to chew on because no one was expecting a win. And it kind of just, the way it devolved into the late second half, it kind of feels like we're just back in no man's land. So I don't know that this game Friday against Houston is really important in the grand scheme of things, like from a win-loss perspective. But,
well,
it's important that positive adjustments were made off of what you saw on Saturday and how you apply them in this next game at home. I'm not expecting a great crowd at all, and I'm not blaming Oregon State fans for that. But I do think, will this be the first home game after classes start?
I don't know the answer to that. I feel like
I imagine it has to be.
Yes, I think it is.
So, hey, first game with the freshmen, like that's always a special night. We played Idaho in that game for me. We won 38-0. It was a blast. And Jonathan Smith was on the opposing sideline for the Idaho Vandals that night. So is Dennis Erickson, aging.
Yeah, so fall classes begin in 2 days.
Okay.
So they're there.
Yeah. So everyone's there now. Yeah. You got to go just to go. And if the team doesn't inspire you, students, by the end of the first quarter, you can leave.
That's what will happen.
Go.
That is what will happen. But and also, let's be honest. It's going to be a 70-degree Friday night.
Perfect.
68-degree Friday night. Well, perfect as in, even if no matter what direction it's going, students are going to bounce. Dude, it's the first Friday of the school year. Like,
but there's nowhere better to be than.
Well, yeah, when you're when you're in your late 30s or 39, as you are tomorrow, Benny. Happy birthday, Benny.
Happy birthday, Benny.
Terry was a day early.
I didn't forget Benny's birthday. Literally all day today, I thought it was the 23rd, which is insane because I had like 4 different appointments today that were obviously scheduled for the 22nd. I have no excuse for this. But happy birthday, Betty. This isn't being published on Monday, September 22nd as we're talking. It will be published on Tuesday, September 23rd.
On his birthday!
On his birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
This is your birthday present.
Yeah, so you're
Why can't you record this
time.
week again? I forgot. Work thing? Work trip?
Work or something. But I'm going to have to put him in a Waldo outfit. A Beaver Waldo outfit. Which I'm glad we
should
found
sell
you.
those. Yeah, I'm glad you guys found me too.
We can probably sell those. I don't know how many buyers we'll have, but if you want to look like an
will someone
Oregon
try to
State
take us to court
Waldo,
again? We don't have the trademark for horizontal stripes.
Yeah.
This is like we look like prisoners in a Charlie Chaplin movie if those movies had color.
I think we can talk about that now. I mean, not saying we have to talk about it now, but we've heard nothing since my stern replies back to our.
That was a very good episode. I think this is a better podcast without me. And I say that not because I just am the definition of humility, but it was a very good episode.
Yeah, I told all the listeners
just
to give us 5 stars. But now for Benny's birthday, say, thank God it was Benny's birthday and he's not here. This podcast was amazing.
Yeah.
5 stars. Wasn't going to do it before, but without that Benny guy taking
time for his birthday
and doing things on his birthday, probably ketamine and mushrooms together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us 5 stars.
Would that be a good combination? I don't know enough about either.
I don't know. I mean,
I guess my answer is ketamine and mushrooms. Benny would be the person who could answer that question.
Yeah, but for his birthday, we won't ask him.
We won't. Let's put him in a Waldo suit.
Just put him in the Waldo. Where's Benny? Oh, you coughed.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm not editing that. I'm not editing that.
Don't. People need to know.
And we are real human beings.
If you're watching on YouTube too, you've caught the previous coughs, at least the visual portion of them.
Yeah.
But I think my voice does sound a little bit sexier when it's got this, little.
Oh, that's like my rap voice in college. It was
snaggle.
Yeah. If I had that raspy, like I'm half sick,
I need that raspy kind of smoker voice.
Yeah,
you're like fuck.
Yeah,
these bars would be so much better if I was sick. All right, everyone, make out with me real quick. Benny,
damn,
put the mushrooms down and make out with me.
Yeah, would he do it? Yes, probably.
Maybe.
It would
depend on who's there. I don't think he would make.
He would do it. Well, if we really needed him, Benny's a good friend.
Yeah. If it was like, hey, we're going to beat Oregon if you make out with me right now, he wouldn't think twice. You wouldn't need to provide any evidence. Just plant the idea in his head. Yeah. He'll make out with anyone if it means Oregon State winning.
And speaking of that, we have to condemn Madam Marwin or whatever her name, whatever her Wiccan name was.
Madam Marwin, I believe.
1 star, Madam Marwin.
It didn't work.
1 star. Didn't work.
Maybe that's why the first quarter worked and Benny needed to order 4 of them.
That would be the most Benny thing, and it's like only in the fine print, only applicable for 1 quarter of football. Yeah, and him not reading that fine print, spot on.
Right. Wait, I
don't read the fine print either.
I was talking to Sam.
He'd be the one who got bit by it
last week, and she was like, "Oh wait, so when are you potting?" I was like, "Oh, the guys are going to do it without me," and she was like, "You guys do that?" I'm like, "Oh, not often, but occasionally, just to make it easier." And she was like, well, what are they going to talk about without you? I was like, they're essentially turning it into a true crime podcast. JP has a bunch of smoking guns in the financial history and different hires. And Benny hired an Etsy witch to to cast a spell on Oregon's football team. And she was like, somehow that's the least surprising text I've ever gotten from you.
Yep. And it fits.
And it does fit. So
that's why they tune in, baby.
That is why I don't have a ton to add other than Benny got my years incorrect when pre-Oregon game. Benny said this has to be the worst season of Oregon State football. And I was like, you are selectively forgetting 2017. And last week on the show, he mentioned 2018, which was Smith's first year, which was a 2-10 season, but moments where they were clearly above schedule. They hung 30 plus on the Buckeyes at the Horseshoe. Did they give up 77? Yeah, but Luton was out there slinging that rock, baby. Artavis Pierce put on a show.
Man, I miss Artavis.
I think this team is better than the 2017 Beavers, but that's not really here nor there. I think a lot of this is partially like the stuff with Blueprint is kind of annoying, and in a way that is unique to Oregon State, but is also not unique to Oregon State. Because as you mentioned, that client list is long. Universities across the country are hiring these companies and these third parties. It all smells the same as when the earliest days of, NIL is available now. Now every kid has an agent. All of these agents don't have to have any certification to be agents. They can just call themselves agents. And if you agree to work with them, in the eyes of the world of collegiate athletics, they're agents. And all these people have questionable motives. And college athletics, there is always kids getting bad advice left and right. And that only multiplied when that came in. And now you have all of these third-party organizations that are specializing in this new era of, general management, not just in the sports term, but like literally just the general way in which you manage properties and entities, because there's so much more to do. And I think you hit the nail on the head for like what Oregon State's in right now. And if there's a kid in the transfer portal who's considering Oregon State and also considering UCLA is what's coming to mind, Arkansas is coming to mind, but just another Blueprint property, what agenda is that kid listening to? Is he listening to the coaches at each university and how they're going to use him? Or is he listening to the people who are going to make money off of the decision that he makes? And this was slimy enough when it was just agents, but now it's these management
the collectives
companies
associated with
it's the collectives, associates, and it's just like there are too many cooks in this kitchen years ago, and now it's just insane. So
that's my feeling.
Yeah,
like having this many finish lines. Good, we got a deal done with them. We got an agreement with them. Oh, but now we gotta get one with them. Now we gotta get one with them. Now we gotta get one with them. There's just too many barriers for really any school to, unless you're Ohio State, like or Alabama, well, kind of Alabama, but like unless you're like one of those blue bloods, like you can't have that same kind of like gravitas that like Damian Martinez felt when Oregon State was the first to show him love.
Sure.
After other schools were ignoring him, right? Like those guys now are going to go to the negotiation table. Those guys in lower are going to just continue to go to the negotiation table. And if on the other side of the table, no matter what school they're talking to, is a corporation,
right?
That is problematic. That is problematic.
Right.
And the fact that they negotiate a cut of NIL contracts brokered on a per school by school basis means that you're negotiating to be at the table with companies like Blueprint. And then you're negotiating to get a player against companies like Blueprint who also represent you if they're representing schools just like you that are involved. So,
and all of it's legal because it's a free market essentially. But
it's just an unregulated market.
Yeah. And it's not even free. It's this is if the black market just showed up at your local farmer's market with all the chaos that comes with it. Yeah, just imagine when people reference like, get that in the black market. It's kind of like the dark web. It's kind of this amorphous thing where you're like, where do I access this?
Yeah.
If the black market just showed up 8 blocks from your house in like a church parking lot on a Saturday morning with no security and no like rules and all kinds of different currency accepted, that is what's happening. You brought up a series of LinkedIn posts made by multiple individuals in regards to a number of different things, meaning to go just check and see if those posts were
still there,
still public. They still are.
Still there. Yeah.
That just kind of brought up to me because I've seen everyone who you mentioned, and this is something that bothers me with Barnes from time to time. I still am a Barnes guy. I'm not calling for his head. I know there are people listening to this who are, but I kind of have a thing. I have a thing called this, like, that I just sort of think of simply as the LinkedIn test. And that is, if every way I've interacted with you, directly or indirectly, if everything of your public persona feels like just a another version of a buttoned up post on LinkedIn, I don't trust you. And I kind of think our entire athletic department right now is managing this department as if trying to expand engagement on one of the dumbest social media apps ever in LinkedIn. Sorry if anyone listens to this works for LinkedIn. Someone probably does. We have Bay Area listeners in Silicon Valley.
They're Microsoft now?
Probably. But anyway,
they are.
We're like trying, it's like we're subscribing to premium LinkedIn, thinking it's going to solve problems, thinking it's going to get us hired for whatever the next ambition is. And it's just not even the platform where the competition is being held. And so that's just kind of the way I like thought of it. It's not a perfect metaphor. It didn't claim it was, but it's just these like buttoned up techie plain bagel bros who have no ties to the school. And I don't think everyone absolutely always has to, but I'm not buying what they're selling. And also the waters have never been murkier, Maalik Murphier. If you are a fan, an alum, a student, just someone who cares about a university and the athletic teams who compete for it, it has never been more unsettling to donate money and have any idea what that money is doing. And you have all of these just entities that you don't have names or face, like a name, blueprint and stuff, but you don't even, the average person isn't going to do all the research to figure out what this is, who works for these companies. You know, Learfield is another big one that we've heard some pretty damning testimony against from what
multiple times
contributed to the university itself.
Or restricted from the university.
Whether you're someone who feels like you can donate $100 or someone who can donate $10,000. My theory is that sorry that this is going to be another episode where Jensen Huang gets brought up. I don't think Jensen Huang hasn't donated specifically to Oregon State football because he doesn't give a shit about football. I don't think he's been given any kind of good, clear proposal of what his money would do in that role. Like, you can say, hey, donate $1 billion, we'll win a national championship. His follow-up is probably, how does $1 billion win us a championship?
Translate. Yeah.
And why do I care? And
map this out for me.
Right. And I don't think we have the people who have figured that out. And I don't think the people who are in there have figured out exactly who would get cuts and for what amount of a seismic contribution like that. And I just don't think we have our house in order. And I don't think it's necessarily Barnes's fault. I don't think it's President Murphy's fault. Everyone wants one person or one thing they can be mad at, and that just doesn't exist here.
Oh, so no, basically
the TLDR is great research, JP. I don't trust these fuckers.
I don't either. And also, you go to somebody, let's just hypothetically play this out. Jensen Huang is on the phone. He says, fine, you got me. I'm convinced. If you can show me how Oregon State can get to that point to help contribute to X, Y, and Z, things I'm involved with outside of athletics, and how there's some sort of trickle down, domino effect, whatever, that helps me there, or at least make sure that my investment there is sustained and actually utilized and worthwhile. Map it out. Get me somebody on the phone that's going to tell me how. Now, do you want him to talk to Kyle Bjornstad, who was a student athlete that's worked? I mean, Kyle's obviously still involved with the athletic department as general manager, but do you want to have somebody running a collective or our preferred collective, whatever their title is, that has that kind of insight and that kind of tie to the university? Or do you want to talk to a Rob Sign, who's just going to be a salesperson, right? Like who went to Penn State? So tell me, who do you think Jensen Huang wants to talk to? If he's donating to Oregon State right now, academically, who do you think's involved? It's not some third party people with no association to Oregon State.
Yeah, it would be people with running the AI and tech and science programs that
and how they've
yeah.
bridged the gap.
And they probably
to athletics.
provide for the money he has donated. He got a very detailed, very thorough plan for how the money would be used. And I think not to be full neoliberal about this, but if you're going to contribute $100 to the Oregon State Athletics Department as a goodwill donation, you should also receive some thorough information about what that money is supporting. Doesn't have to be like, here is the blueprint, and we're gonna I get that that's not the thing, but like,
was that play on words?
That was not. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, good job.
Here's the
blueprint.
Here's
60% comes to us. Then the other 40%, we're gonna do whatever we want with it.
Right.
Whoa.
And then
who said that?
If you had told 60%? Me, thank 60%. You
60%.
For let's just treat that as a hypothetical. If you're like, oh yeah, we'll take your $100. 60%. $60 of it will pay me and my friends, and $40 will do whatever we want. I don't know. Maybe we'll buy some hot dogs for Reeser.
My friends, does your friend include the deputy athletic director that pushed the sale of Damnation to you?
Maybe.
Is there under the table handshake agreement on?
No, not me. I have no friends actually.
Not you. No,
I've never had a friend.
No.
I don't have a friend. I don't have a phone. It's, I'm just,
you can't
I'm
call.
Just here. I'm just here for the Beavs with my Penn State degree.
Yeah.
It's just, and I don't know exactly like how nefarious anything is or will turn out to be, but I just don't think it's doing anything. And
at a bare minimum, it is terrible for Oregon State to put its eggs in a basket like this. And not because it's going to damage Oregon State specifically, but we are acting like sheep that every other university in need is starting to do. And that is, hey, expert, not expert, that just kind of started doing this as well. We don't want to do this. So we're going to let you do it. We're going to let you do it and not worry about it and just say, hey, we're paying you. Therefore, you must be doing a good job, because we want to feel good about the money we're spending. Right. And if you're doing a good job, that means that we're going to get to the places we want to be. And if you're doing a good job and we don't get to those places where we want to be, it's not because you're not doing a good job. I'm just here for a couple years to get this on my resume and then move on. Therefore, we're going to just chalk it up to the situation. We're going to chalk it up to whatever kind of capacity we had capable, capable to our hands at that moment. And so I don't like it at all. I don't like this at all. There is so many problems with this whole arrangement. And it's not just go ahead and worry about, negotiating against ourselves with the same entity. We need beavers straightening out the ship. We need beavers that know how to speak to other beavers, to talk to them about the situation that we're in, to tell them about why this is so dire, and about why we should be the preferred place to invest. And here is why your investment will pay off. It is not that far-fetched, but I feel like we are at Learfield in 1999 all over again. We're just going, we don't want to do this. We don't really know what we're doing. You seem like you know what you're doing. So we'll just put our money and everything else you asked for in your hands. I will tell you right now, and fine, I'll eat crow later, but I don't think I'm going to eat crow. I really, truly, unfortunately, don't think I will eat crow on this, because we are fucked. This arrangement just puts us in the same level playing field as every other perspective is for conference realignment. We are fucked. Right. And I've probably never said fuck more than once on an episode, but I've said it now 4 or 5 times. Here's the 6th. We are fucked.
And decisions like this are often made to raise a financial floor of an organization.
It's a feather in a cap to walk away and go, yeah, I set them up for this great arrangement.
Sure.
There's no dedication There's no long-term dedication in that.
But I don't even know.
That's why we're fucked.
But I don't even know what. Like, I get what you're arguing here. I do. I don't know what the feather is though, because I don't know what.
It's short term. It's short term.
Yeah,
so
I
when you
understand that,
leave
but like,
to go somewhere
why
else, you say, "Hey, I helped Oregon State get out from their
align with
grassroots
Blueprint,
collective,
and
we align with Blueprint that knew what they're doing."
Blueprint.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's all terribly disheartening, and like the best case
Without a
scenario
grassroots
is,
collective led by Beavs, we are fucked. Worse.
I might be right.
Worse than realignment. Worse than realignment. What is their incentive? Yeah. Is it our cut we give them? Is it our 60% that we give Blueprint? Our 60% that we give Blueprint?
Talk about that number a little bit though more, because that's supposed to be 20.
It's not supposed to be 20. That was 3 years ago. Benny uncovered that article.
Okay.
With Nevada Reno.
Okay.
That said Blueprint is taking 20%. That was 3 years ago. That was very early on.
Right.
In what is now a fucking shit show. Of
inflation. No one wants to work. All the things.
60% is what I've been told.
And that's all NIL funds.
That is all contributions to Damnation Collective.
60%
cut goes to Blueprint. The rest is administered elsewhere. Now, whether that is negotiations with a player and their agent or family or whatever, or it's just contributions directly towards. But if you're, I mean, I just got an email today. Was that today? I got an email from Damnation today. Where the hell is that? I don't know. I can't find it. Either way, they've been awfully active recently asking about joining up, signing up for the memberships. And with that membership, you would imagine some of it would go to overhead.
Yeah.
Some of it would go to operational costs of whatever they're delivering on, merch, experiences. The number is likely, very, very likely, 60% cut. If you're a Damnation member, like, you're handcuffed right now. Your loyalties led you to sign up for that. Rightfully. Not harping on anyone who signed up to be a member, because you want to help. Everyone does that cares about Oregon State. But now what do? Like you said, you want to know where that money's going.
Yeah.
And now this entity that has no affiliation to our university runs it. Are you going to pull it all the way out? Well, no, like, some of it must still go to the athletes, right? Like, and that's your intentions. And that's well intended. But how much? How much? If you donated your number, you signed up for membership thinking my number is what I want the athletes to have, and there's a gap at some point, or not, of what I can contribute, how far do you go to make sure that the athletes have what you were donating? And how do you know how far you have to go? Because you can't just assume that it's all going there. It's factual that they're taking at least 20%, at least from every partner university. They took that from University of Nevada, Reno. And that was 3 years ago when they were brand new to all this stuff. So how much of your donation are they taking now? And then how much of your donation is going to an athlete? And how much more are you willing to donate to make sure that your donation that you wanted to go to athletics and student athletes is going there? I think that everyone should look into this more, or ask questions. Email, ask them. How do I know? Don't ask Damnation. They're not going to give you a straight answer.
Yeah.
It's a faceless corporation behind a brand now.
I don't even know who's checking that inbox right now.
Right. But if you emailed them a month and a half ago, you sure as hell know that it was Kyle or Peter probably pursuing whatever email you sent them and then writing you back. Now, who knows? Outsourced secretary, intern from North Carolina. Like, how do you know?
Right. And I mean, it's impossible to think of all this without also thinking back to our multi-part conversation with Steve Johnson, who sat down with Blaylock about wanting to establish something. for Oregon State men's basketball alums, for a program that people keeps, how do you save this program? It's a thing every year that we talk about. No one knows how. No one can do it. And Steve came in.
I mean, Nick Dassel wrote a whole thing about saving. Like, there's nothing to be done to save Oregon State men's basketball, essentially. At least not to bring it back to where it had been.
Steve, who played for the best team that the school ever had done a lot of work and at least had the support of a lot of other players. And again, it's about the players. And Blaylock's the one who said to him, even if you're Gary Payton, when you leave, no one's going to remember you. And Steve didn't get a lot done at that table. Because I mean, Steve's plan was very attractive for a lot of reasons, but in that there wasn't anything in there about how, you know, Learfield is who he talked about more, because I don't know how public Blueprint was at the time, or if we knew, but there was nothing in there that was going to get Learfield rich. So of course they didn't go for it.
No.
And because it's not about, it's not the interest of Oregon State men's basketball. It's the interest of who owns Oregon State men's basketball, which isn't Oregon State, it's Learfield. And now it's maybe Learfield and Blueprint. And
bingo.
Those organizations don't want to be associated with a dud, but all that motivation would be just to raise the floor high enough to where you're clearing something and not exactly aiming super high.
Yeah. Hey, even a crumbling building accrues a little bit of equity. If your stake's there, hold, right? I mean, that's just like, that's business 101. And I'm not surprised that in some ways these companies aren't trying. They understand it takes money and it takes bandwidth to build it up to earn more money. But as long as you're not losing money, doesn't matter. There's no
and they
incentive.
also knew that Oregon State and Washington State were going to win a pretty substantial lawsuit early on in this. So I don't know if
that shit's gone. That is gone.
I'm sure that's gone, but it was at least, you know, a fattening of the purse for a time to keep the asset managers busy and make
and all the goodwill. All the goodwill.
Right.
I mean,
we're aligning ourselves with those who are getting left behind.
Yeah. And then, hey, and those that are left behind, there's like, you know, this big rah-rah movement of like, you know, don't fuck with us. And now they're buying merch. They're showing up at games. They're buying tickets. They're watching on TV. They're seeing our ads. They're listening to our ads on radio shows. Like, all of that is padding the wallet of like the previously asleep giant, though always a thorn in our necks, at our sides, Learfield. And I truly worry that Blueprint will be, not even just worry, I know that Blueprint will be the next Learfield. And we will sit here in 15 years, 20 years and go, what the fuck were we thinking?
Right. And how do we get out of this?
And there's no way out of it.
And Blueprint is way too good of an album for them to have named their company after. It's not syncing up.
Now that he's off. Now that he's off of, well, I guess mostly off of the allegations, Diddy allegations. I guess we can say that.
Blueprint was a Jay-Z album, dog.
Yeah, Jay-Z.
Oh, that's right.
Was in the allegations.
That's good to know. I'll sleep better at night.
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying he is for sure innocent. I'm just saying that
well, I hope he is.
Pitchforks have come down that he's not as needing to be canceled. Though there was a hectic moment.
Cancel Blueprint. Cancel realignment.
Yes, that is the shit that should be canceled. God,
right.
Ain't that hard? Oh, I found the damnation. You get an all-inclusive suite experience. Oh, so if you want to enter, I don't know why they did it this way, but $25 gets you 250 entries, bro.
Nice.
Think about how many entries that is. Anyways,
so many entries.
But yeah, $1,000 gets you a 3x bonus. Gets you 1,000 entries, but you know that $1,000 entry pays for everything.
Yeah.
And it's probably
which is probably decent
$600.
value. Yeah. Yeah, now at 0-4. Preseason, I'd be like
insiders get you
$1,000 for multiple tickets to an all-inclusive suite thing. Yes, it depends on the game, but at least that sounds reasonable. I'm not mad at the price point, but
no,
still.
but hey, I gotta say, it's something. Last week when we talked about Damnation and Blueprint, there have been like crickets for weeks from them since the acquisition was announced. Sure. And then this was the email that came out about 6 hours after our episode was published. Not saying we were the reason for it.
I must never actually given Damnation money.
Interesting timing to launch a Reeser sweeps.
Is that for this Friday?
Yeah.
Or is it just sometime this season?
No, it's this Friday. 5 sweet tickets, 3 sweet tickets, 2 sweet tickets, 2 parking passes, 1 parking pass, signed memorabilia, food and bev. Oh, and a video shout out from OSU player coach and food and bev. Food and bev.
I mean, I can enjoy $1,000 worth of all-inclusive stadium food and bev. No problem.
It didn't say all-inclusive.
I thought you said all-inclusive suite experience. Isn't that where it started?
Well, all-inclusive sweet tickets.
Okay. That made it sound like, because usually all-inclusive does mean beer and wine, and then the hard alcohol you have to pay for.
Well, I would drink enough beer and wine that my inclusivity would have to be me sleeping in the suite.
This is how we're going to bankrupt Blueprint.
Yeah.
We had all the beers. No, I can't do that, though, because we got to give
40% to our athletes.
Yeah. And Mr. Brown raising money for youth baseball at his beer kiosk. Which one was that?
Yeah. That was the, is he still doing it? Chris Brown. What's up, Mr. Brown? Yeah. Papa Brown.
Chris Brown.
I haven't seen anything from it recently. Mr. Brown, come on.
Right.
Shoot us a note, dude.
I was about to say Chris Brown, but I was like, I just maybe shouted out a celebrity in a nefarious way like 10 seconds ago. Chris Brown's on it. I was like, is his name really Chris Brown, or am I just thinking that? Yeah, Chris Brown, Ryan Brown's father. And great guy.
Brownie Senior.
Lot of Brownie Senior. Lot of beer sales for a good cause. So I wouldn't even want to drink all the beers for free. I would want to have 12 Coors Lights that I know the money of those is buying kids mitts and shit like that. That is how I'm generous with my money.
Yeah.
So no, I would love. That's what, like, hey, yeah, I understand there's this money, but it's just like, donate some exorbitant amount. I don't know how much equipment costs, but yeah, like, all right, I'll buy the catcher a new catcher's mitt. If you're telling me that this is what it's for, yeah. I want to organize.
How many beers is that?
Top of the line catcher's mitt. Yeah. Send me the bill and the drinks, and I'll take care of the rest.
Yeah. Don't even have to be on a tray. Actually, it would be nice on a tray.
I know. Then they get
cardboard paper. Just bring them on.
Right. Or a nice cooler on wheels.
No, don't get that fancy. We got speakers on the side too, Terry, with a bottle opener on the other one.
Sure.
Come on, it's for the kids.
The beer's not for the kids. the money's for the kids.
Well, yeah, I know. I already had that happen at Reeser, where I was holding 3 hot dogs, 2 nachos, and 2 hot chocolates, and 2 beers. One for me, one for my wife. And then
how the hell did this happen?
I asked
Everett to help.
I asked Ev to hold the beer while I moved the stuff around in my arms, and security came sprinting up.
No,
and was like, and
grabbed research security to.
It grabbed Ev by the shoulder and looked at me, and it was like, we could take him from you now. Like, that is illegal that he is holding an open container. Like, look at me.
You see what's happening
food
here.
For my entire family.
Right.
I needed an extra pair of hands, and my eldest is the only one capable of doing that. Okay? So, buzz the fuck off.
And a bottle is less likely to spill than whatever container they put the hot chocolate in.
Yeah.
So,
and it was a beer. But also, I'm like, he was like 6 years old. I'm like, he's 6. He's not trying to drink this beer.
No.
Please. Not yet.
And you're,
not till
and you're
you're
standing
7.
right there.
Yeah.
So whatever. I don't know how old I was. I was probably older than 7, but not much older. At a minor league St. Paul Saints game, my dad asked me to hold his beer while he went and used the porta potty because, minor league baseball, there are porta potties in the stadium. And I remember taking a sip of it and being like, this is disgusting. I will never drink this shit. I probably didn't say shit, but I was curious. I probably was like 11 or 12. But
You're like, I'm never
so
gonna
you were a better dad than my dad
junk.
was in that moment. So
Well,
yeah, you're getting treats for your whole family.
My dad would go, do you want to try this? You want to try this beer?
Yeah, knowing you'd hate it, and then you lose interest until
Yeah,
a certain age.
give me some. And now look, I'm drinking a Elysian Night Owl pumpkin ale, bro.
We are some
we
night
haven't had a beer
owls.
segment forever. We are some night owls.
This was a vodka soda, and it is.
That is
now gone. When you're sick, they say you should a vodka soda keeps the doctor away.
They actually say you should drink more. There's anti-inflammatories.
Yeah, the alcohol.
And there's also respiratory stuff that helps with things.
Right. Really spicy food just opens up the sinuses and it all just comes flowing out, and then you're good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're healthy.
I'll be back ready to cover more WNBA playoffs tomorrow. It'll be fun.
Screw you guys.
I know. Maybe one of the best sporting experiences I've been to. The Valkyries are dope. So
yeah, thank you.
Keep your head up. That's the team of the future for sure. Especially with all these free agents coming up. Everyone's going to want to sign there.
Yeah, and like having them loving to spend, not just on the players, but loving to spend on the environment and the support that makes players want to be
so smart to focus on in year one. And I walked right by Lacob, didn't say anything. But I also, it was after the game, I was on my way, like, I turned and he was just like there. I was kind of going around a corner and we just like our shoulders almost brushed for a little bit. At halftime,
like
I was walking
$200,000 shoulder you have.
Yeah. I was walking out of the bathroom at halftime as Brandon Pachemsky was walking in and just gave him a little nod. I was like, how's it going? And he was like, what's up? And I was like, that was cool.
Yeah. The Bay Area loves the Valkyries.
He had a great Players Tribune article about the Valks.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And we're gonna bring it
coming.
Home.
We're coming for your links. The crown is coming down.
Just next year.
Anyway,
if you're sad about Oregon State football, watch the WNBA playoffs. It's pretty much the exact opposite level of quality at this point in the semis. It's been some great ball. Yeah, a couple of night owls, and I really need to call it, and I think you do.
Wait, before we get out of here, we got to shout out listener Jack, who exposed himself to us in a good way. Take that as you will. Take that as you will. Shout out Jack.
Shout out Jack.
Who I don't think went to Oregon State. He's a Pittsburgh native.
Oh, yeah.
And
this guy.
Lives in State College.
Uh-huh.
But does he know Rob Stein? That's interesting.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Yes, but he messaged us to let us know that we are one of his favorites, but also that he's maybe our most random listener. He's a Beavs fan since he was younger. He liked the color orange. The Beavers are dope. Totally agree on both of those. And then his dad's a Pitt fan, so he wanted to root against them in the bowl game. Love that too. Yeah. Anyways.
Also works in college administration.
With a
lot of experience.
A lot of experience.
In that perfect Pittsburgh vernacular, Sid.
Yes.
Yins hit the nail on the head on this one.
Yes. Loved that too. I love that too.
Listener Jack. Jack's the boy.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack, for tuning in.
A+ listener.
If you're another far away listener that has a very fun and random affiliation to Oregon State, we'd love to hear from you too. Right. That was very cool.
Jack, wear Beavs stuff to the Oregon Penn State game in State College this coming Saturday. That would be dope. You're already at our good graces, but if you want to be at our best graces, wear orange.
Maybe I can try to
wear orange.
Some merch.
It's Beaver Stadium, for fuck's sake.
Yes, right.
Canzano will be there. Not wearing Beaver stuff in the press box, I assume. He's a professional, but still.
Well, we had press We had press passes at one point.
Yeah, we'll get him again.
We will get him again. We will get him again. You can't hold us down. We last longer than
one almost
any
every day.
Fiesta Bowl controversy.
Absolutely. And longer than any bowl of Tostitos chips at the Fiesta Bowl or no.
And we got more money than what gets funneled through bowl games.
Yes. Yeah, we're not exact. If you spend money on Oregon State merch or Belligerent Beavs merch, rather, it's pretty clear. You pay the money for the agreed upon dollar amount, and the item or apparel you purchased will be sent to you. It's a pretty clear cut. If you like you're seeing clarity in your transactions.
Yeah,
it's a great spot for that. That's belligerentbeavs.com on this.
That is.
And as episode 189 comes to a close, I'm not sure how much longer my nose and throat have left for this episode.
R.I.P.
But from all of us here at the Belligerent Beavs, me, Terry Horseman, at Terry Horseman on Twitter, at Terrence Horseman on Instagram, and the man, the myth, the legend behind the ones and twos, keeping the ship steer in the right direction, JP Bertram. That's at the Trial J on Twitter, at the _Trial_J, because he's too trial to be real, and hiding like Waldo. Oh, my one piece of feedback for last week's episode was the Waldo bit. You guys should have mentioned Waldo Hall on campus. The infamous Waldo Hall.
We couldn't give that
up. Exactly. Damn it. I blew Betty's cover. Benjamin Lawrence Sebastian Weehage, a.k.a. Benny with the good quaff, a.k.a. Benny Bowl Game, a.k.a. Benny Blastoff, a.k.a. Benny Bedlam, because he's fucking crazy, folks, a.k.a. Benny Waldo, because he's not here. Try and find him. He's not at Waldo Hall. He's anywhere else, but not at Waldo Hall. And follow us.
He's hopping the top floor.
For gosh darn sake. At Bellig Beavs, at Belligerent Beavs, everywhere else. Think of a social media thing. We're on it. And unless it's really, 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 really grotesque, we're just on the social media platform and probably not paying attention to what its owners do. So if you hate it and we're on it so like Zuckerberg sucks, but we're still in Meta for whatever reason. It's not an endorsement of that little weasel looking ass weirdo.
Alien, lizard man.
Being alive is not an endorsement of other living beings. I shouldn't have to repeat that, but it's true. So find us on whatever social media flavor of your
choice. We just
want
to reach y'all.
And give us a 5-star review so that we have 5-star reviews that didn't come in just last week when I wasn't on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and suggest the show to a friend. It really helps us grow the show a lot. And until next time, until wherever, until tomorrow, until next year, until forever, no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter what they take away, no matter what that mysterious percentage cut is, you still can't spell ChopEm without hope. So ChopEm.
ChopEm. ChopEm.
ChopEm. Beavs back, baby.
Happy birthday, Benny.
Happy birthday, Benny. We love you, buddy.
Cut.